at this moment on your shining supreme station.
For the best of national, local, international news and sport, tune in to News Punch and Diamond 88.7 FM. News Punch, all about the news.
It's exactly 9 a.m. Good morning and thank you for joining us on today's edition of the News Punch, reaching you from Diamond 88.7 FM Ilori. This is where we bring you the trending stories across the globe. My name is Bisola, Oduwole, Suleiman, and here are the stories making the waves across the world. In Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari has renewed the tenures of two federal officials, Aliyu Abubakar and John Assain. Abubakar and Assain are Director Generals of the Legal Aid Council of Nigeria, LACON, and the Nigerian Copyright Commission, respectively. Buhari also approved the nomination of Abiodun Aikomo as the Secretary of the Administration of Criminal Justice Monitoring Committee, ACJMC. In Kwara State, the Kwara State has secured a World Bank funding to support infrastructure upgrade in at least one primary healthcare facility in each of the 193 wards of the state. Another fruit of Governor Abdurrahman Abdurrazak's constant payment of counterfeit funds for different healthcare services. The governor will formally launch the program on Monday, the 23rd January 2023, where checks will be presented to the benefiting PHCs across the state. Dr. Nusirat Elelu, Executive Secretary of the Kwara State Healthcare Development Agency, said in a statement that the 887,800,000 support comes from under the Immunization Plus and Malaria Progress of Accelerating Coverage and Transforming Services Impact Project, for which the government has paid a counterpart fund. And on the international scene, Germany is ready to authorize Poland to send German-made Leopard tanks to Ukraine to help Kyiv fight the Russian invasion if Warsaw makes such a request. Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock has said. The comments appeared to signal that Berlin was ready to authorize European countries to deliver German-made tanks to Ukraine, and amid growing pressure from Kyiv and other allies for such a move. Under the license agreement, countries cannot send German tanks without Berlin's approval. So far, no Western-designed main battle tanks have been delivered to Ukraine for defensive combat against invading Russian forces. And in the world of sports, Atlanta head coach Gian Piero Gasperini has described Ademola Lookman's performance in the 3-3 draw at Juventus as extraordinary. Lookman continued his impressive form in the front of goal after bagging a brace and also providing an assist in the 6th-goal thriller. The Super Eagles star now has 11 goals in his debut season in Serie A and is the second in the top scorers chart behind Victor Osimhen. And that's all we have for you on this morning's edition of the News Punch. Up next is the Diamond Breakfast Show, where we take a look at the analysis of the major stories making the rounds. Just stay with us. We'll be right back.
The major talking points in Nigeria are always on the lips of the citizens.
What's going on in this country? Look at smaller countries taking lead, and you call yourself giant of Africa. Yeah.
Nigeria don't spoil my business too much. Nigeria is too hard for us. I mean, they want to kill us. Father, not kill us for Nigeria. Oh, please, help us beg them.
They should reduce their expenditure so that they can free enough money for social development.
I wish for a Nigeria where we elect a leader based on competency and not popularity.
On the Diamond Breakfast Show, we place the spotlight on the critical issues in the country.
Government that says they are broke can prioritize construction of an additional runway over education of the people.
How can how can you run in the mean? This is intolerable. It's provocative.
Now, you see, when you look at our democratic journey, we are yet to practice genuine democratic system in Nigeria.
Join us on Mondays to Friday on the DBS from 9 to 10 a.m. The Diamond Breakfast Show, amplifying the voice of the people.
From the studios of Diamond 88.7 FM in Ilori, this is the Diamond Breakfast Show.
You're still tuned in and listening to Diamond 88.7 FM, Ilorin. This is the Diamond Breakfast Show. We have a lot of conversations to have this morning, and this morning we'll be taking a look at the analysis of some of the major stories from the week. I'm still your host on the Diamond Breakfast Show. My name is Bisola Oduwole Suleiman, and this morning I have with me Comrade Tajuddin Abib. He's a political analyst and a youth advocate. A very good morning to you.
Good morning, Ms. Bisola. Good morning, dear listeners.
It's nice to have you on the show.
Thank you.
And happy new week to you.
Same to you.
All right, and I'll also have joining me another guest during the course of the program, but when he comes in, I'll definitely introduce my guest. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, internal crisis took a new dimension on Friday. The National Working Committee, NWC, of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has wielded the big stick against some party members for alleged anti-party activities. It also announced the dissolution of the Ekiti State Executive Committee and the setting up of a caretaker committee to oversee the day-to-day running of the party affairs in the state. Senator Chimaroke Namani, Enugu State, and Chief Chris Ogbo, Imo State, were key figures of the Southeast that felt the wrath of the working committee. The NWC also approved the suspension of some party members in Ekiti State, with former Governor Ayodele Fayose leading the list of the suspended members. There is certainly a rejig, and more will follow in the following weeks before the election, with many suspecting that the G5 looks to be the next on the PDP's axe. The G5, led by Nyesom Wike of Rivers State, are not silent about the latest development. They stressed that the chances of the party winning the slot to Aso Rock now hang by threats. Let's take a look at, let's listen to what Wike said, and we'll be right back.
To Yoja Ayu and his team, they are dissolving the Ekiti State ESCO. Will not help you in any way. They are suspending people, will not help you in any way. The battle line has been full drawn. And as I speak to you, we'll do everything legally possible to challenge any decision that we know is illegal.
All right, that's Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State speaking there. Nigerians have questions. Nigerians also definitely deserve answers to these questions. The problems facing the country need instant answers from any party that emerges. Should they trust a party that finds it difficult to build its internal structure? This is the first conversation that we're having on the Diamond Breakfast Show this morning. In case you're just tuned in and joining us, you can join in the conversation via WhatsApp 091-3655-6864. During the course of the program, we'll also open up the phone lines. You can reach us via this number 091-3655-6952. Watch us live on Facebook at Diamond 87 FM, on YouTube, Diamond FM Ilorin. Now, let's get into this conversation. Every problem definitely has a genesis. It has a place where it starts from. The crisis in the party did not start overnight. Let's get a recap of the conversation that led to this crisis in the PDP.
Good morning once again, dear listeners at home. I think I would like to start from this perspective. You have said that for a party that wants to win the slot to Aso Rock, what is the fate of that party? I want to say that democratically, I am not even looking at PDP as a party who wants to win the slot. I'm looking at them as an opposition that should be viable. In a democratic setting, you definitely will have people who will be at the ends of affair. And you normally, under normal circumstances, you're supposed to have people who put those people at the ends of affair on their toes. And that is exactly what we're expecting from PDP. Unfortunately, that wasn't what we are having at this particular period of time. Because if you are having a party that the opposition will be looking as a major contender doing something like this, then you are telling the opposition to relax, because already you are defeating yourself. This doesn't start in this year, I think we all remember that at the time PDP were priding themselves as the largest party in Africa, and then they said they will be ruling this country for at least 60 years before any other party can take over from them. You're talking about between 1999 and 2013. Yes. The problem started in 2013 when, like we have now, G7 of then, 7 governors from the PDP decided to leave the party and then pitched a tent with the new formation, which is the All Progressive Congress Party at that particular period of time. And that was exactly what led to the defeat in 2015. And since that 2015, it is expected that a serious party that actually have something to offer, that wants to do something for the benefit of the masses, just like I have started, we shouldn't look at it from the perspective of winning an election alone. We should look at it from the perspective of the democratic setting. It's the way to have the dividend. Okay, somebody in power, somebody outside there putting him on his toes, so that if you make a mistake, you know that you have a viable person to replace you. So in 2015, when they lose that election, it is expected that they'll come back together. This boils down back to some of the information or some of the agitation or some of the perspective that some of us shared, that the Nigerian democratic system, the party system, seems to have lost their track from the beginning. They were not based on any ideological trend. If you look at the word democracy, let's take the United States of America for example. You understand exactly what the Democrats stand for. You understand exactly what the Republicans are doing. People have that privilege to choose between the ideology of the two at a particular period of time. Okay, just like you have it when Trump won the election in 2015. It was all about the economic situation of America at that particular period of time and the external issues. So they decided that at this particular period of time, the Republican will give them exactly what they want in image and solidification in that wise. And they voted Trump. When you come back to 2020, they discovered that Trump is derailing from the path they think this is what they're supposed. And then they went back to the Republican, and that's why you are having the Democrat, and that's exactly the reason why you are having Biden at themselves affair today. So it is expected that with the growth in our democratic system, we have an opposition that can actually give the people an option. And that's exactly what PDP should stand for. Unfortunately, they couldn't manage that situation, and then we are where we are today. All right. So it's actually something that we need to be worried about. The Nigerian masses need to be worried about it. Because if you allow a party to have its root firmly on ground and then decided to do and undo whatever they want in the political system, then you're going to be having a system whereby you have the best of the democracy that you're supposed to have.
All right, Comrade Abib. Now, more facts emerge that there was an agreement that zoning the presidency to the north will equate that to having a chairman from the south, that is a party chairman from the south. This, by many, created the first problem for the party. How true is this?
You see, like I used to say, you see, there is this something, the reality that we must face. The Nigerian democratic system, yes, there has been growth over time since 1999 when we return back to the democratic system. But the truth is that we have not grown to a level wherein some certain factors will be left behind without looking at them and then taking them into proper perspective when you are taking decisions. And that is some of those decisions are the ethnic politics that we play, the religious politics that we play. There is no way you can do it in the country today that you will not consider some of these factors in making your decision as a party, as a government. So if that's the case, it is expected that the PDP internal mechanism will have taken care of this situation. Okay? One of the major problems that you have that happens majorly to the PDP internally was the fact that some of the members sees their own personal interests as the utmost interest and not the party or the country's interest. And that's exactly the reason why you are having some of this problem. Who brought Hayu into the Arms of Affair in PDP? Same Southerners, led by ESM Wiki, with the intention that if Ayu, a Northerner, become the national president, then automatically the presidential slot will not be going to the north. So they will have it at the south. Well, you know, politics is a game of number. It's a game of tactics and technicality. So the Northerners, led by Atiku Abubakar, understand this technicality and tactics, and that's exactly the reason why you see them clinching the ticket at the time minute from the PDP as well. But the deed has been done. As a party, what should be paramount is how do we bring ourselves together and ensure that we have a chance of winning the election. But this particular period of time, I do not think the PDP have that chance.
All right, Comrade Tajuddin, we'll still get back to that issue, but we need to go on a short time out. Do stay with us. We'll be right back.
Diamond FM, your one-stop dial.
Your dreams of owning a home in an organized, well-laid-out, secured environment with 24-hour stable electricity and portable drinking water is within your reach. Grab this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity as Las Vegas Imperial Estate offers for sale 50 plots of land measuring 450 square meters per plot at 8 million naira. That is a massive 2 million naira off the normal rate of 10 million naira per plot. This end-of-the-year promo lasts from November 10, 2022 to January 31st, 2023. Payments can be made in installments within these 3 months, while outright payments attract a 5% discount. Las Vegas Imperial Estate is located right behind Kwara State House of Assembly Complex, overlooking the Asta Dam water. For inquiries, contact 0806-286-5734 or 0803-046-1993. Las Vegas Imperial Estate, luxury and comfort.
Diamond FM, your one-stop dial.
All right, welcome back. You're still tuned in and listening to Diamond 88.7 FM Ilorin. This is the Diamond Breakfast Show. I still have my guest in the building, Comrade Tajuddin Abib, doing justice to the issue we're talking about this morning. And we're taking a look at the crisis in the People's Democratic Party. Lots of questions, lots of answers that Nigerians also deserve to get from this whole issue. Now, still talking about this issue. Before the primaries, hours to the primaries, Governor Nyesom Wike promised to support whoever emerges as the party's candidate for the presidential ticket. But let's listen to him first, then we come back to this issue.
Let me vow. Today, anybody who emerges here, I will support the person to the fullest. Anybody who emerges here today, I will support the person to the fullest. Because I'm a committed party person, because I love this party.
All right, that's Governor Nyesom Wike speaking there just hours before the primaries. What changed? What could have prompted this revolt? Could it be the decision to step down from the race by Aminu Tambuwa, or the later choice of Patrick Okowa of Delta State? Could that have been the first excuse to start a revolt in the party?
Of course, all of these factors culminate into exactly what Wike has become today. But that wasn't the only issue. If you look at the speech, if you look at the reaction, the gesture of Nyesom Wike during this primary, he has that confidence that he's going to clinch the ticket. He has it because he thinks he's having the backing of the national president of the party, in this case, Iyosha Ayu. And then in the 10 minutes, the Northerners came up with, just like we used to say, the truth has always been that if you are playing the game with the Northerners, you have to be extra smart. Okay, they came up with their own plans, thinking about exactly what they should do to have the ticket. And then you cannot wish that out. The Northern caucus bring themselves together, and that's exactly the reason why you see Aminu Tambuwa stepping down for Atiku Abubakar. And that was what breaks the camel back. And then you have Atiku that emerges. Then, Wike has the confidence. He thinks he will win the primaries. He lost at the end of the day. But he thinks there should be compensation. Of course, yes. He has been the one single-handedly, I wouldn't want to use single-handedly, but he has been the major financier of the party since they lost the election in 2015. Right. He thinks he has that bragging right to get whatever he wanted from the party. Unfortunately, the party thinks otherwise. They look at the brighter future and look at exactly what will become of them if they are in government, with Nyesom Wike as the deputy vice president. So unfortunately, they think otherwise, and that's exactly what brings pick somebody else, and then that's exactly the reason why you see all of. But just like I've stated from the beginning, is it all about being on the ballot, winning the election? No, it shouldn't be all about that. It should be about the greater effect that your contribution to the democratic system will bring to the table. In this case, as a party, as a person who has stake in the affairs of the country. So I think what should have happened, what should have been the cases after the whole of the drama at the primary, should have been the party coming together to sit down and then look at exactly what they can do to ensure that they cover some of these lapses and bring about the best of them to the table, so that Nigerians can have that opportunity to choose between the two at this particular period, considering the situation of the country. Of course, we'll, at the end of the day, decide exactly who we think will fit in more to what the Nigerian people want to see about the country. But unfortunately, the PDP has not been doing that, and it's actually something that the Nigerian masses needs to be worried about. And if you look at the situation at this particular period of time, just like you have it prior to 2015 general election, that's exactly what is playing out today. If you see Wike talking, some other time he will tell you that these people that are holding the party at jugular today were the same people that put the party in a mess in 2015. They are the people that left the party. The Tambo of this world, the Atiku of this world, the Saraki of this world. They are still the people controlling the affairs of the party today. And Wike sees that as a threat. They shouldn't have that power. They shouldn't have that temerity. Some of these factors are the reason why Wike became exactly what he has become today. Well, I think they need to retrace the step. They need to look at the greater picture and think which one will be better for the country and which one will be better for their own party. Okay, so you're saying that national interest should come first before personal interest. But we see a lot of these things play out in most of the parties. When a candidate or an aspirant tries to get a particular thing and does not get it, then it tries to probably moves to another party or tries to find a way. But most of the time, do we see national interest coming before personal interest? That's exactly what I said from the beginning. The ideology of the people playing politics in Nigeria, the political party ideology too. That's where you have this problem we're facing today. People interest in Nigerian politics and party politics lies solely on their own interest, not any other thing. It's not even about governance. They just want to have a vehicle. Since we do not have that independence candidacy in our electoral system, they just want to have a vehicle that will take them to exactly where they are going, not necessarily the standard of that vehicle or what that vehicle has to offer. So what you are having is people using this political party to achieve their own personal interest and not any political party interest or national interest. And that's what I'm saying, that we need to go back to the foundation. We need to think about how do we play this politics so that we'll have exactly what the Nigerian people want to have at the ends of our own affair. In a situation whereby you continue to have people playing politics based on their own personal interest, then you continue to have some of this situation that we're having today. All right. Thank you so much, Comrade Tajuddin Abib. And while we were having a conversation, my other guest just stepped into the studio. I have with me Mr. Olanre Wajulawal, an economic expert who doubles as the Kwara officer for Budget Tracker. A very good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Bisola.
Good morning
to all our listeners.
All right. It's nice to have you on the show this morning.
It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm sure you've been following the conversation on your way here, and we've been talking about the crisis in the People's Democratic Party, and Comrade Tajuddin Abib has had a lot to say about this issue, but there's still a concern that is from the public, the general public, about how this whole thing is going to play out. The People's Democratic Party suspended some members for anti-party activities. Does this not look like a decision to defeat at the polls?
Well, first and foremost, good morning to all our listeners. I'm not a card-carrying member of any political party. However, I've observed that over the years, ever since we returned to democracy, there is no single political party, as we speak, in this country today that is based on any clear-cut ideology. What we have are just nomenclature. You hear the name of this party, their slogan. You hear the name of the other party, their slogan. And once it is election season, like the period we're in now, we liken it to the transfer season. for football lovers, soccer lovers, where politicians cross carpet from one political party to the other in violation of the extant laws. So, for the case of the PDP, it is the same of the same, because we have members of this party who will move from the PDP to another party for their own interests. And when those interests are not satisfied, they find their way back to the PDP. For the PDP, they have their own party constitution. And if in line with their party constitution, some of these violations have been seen, then the onus is on the party to maintain discipline within their ranks. I just hope it is not selective, because the names that we have been seeing, there are still other names who, when the party decides to wield the big stick, such names also should bear the punishment. There's a lot of anti-party going on in all the parties, not just the PDP.
All right. Now, with this, are we going to see a situation where members are working against the party in the election, with all these developments coming up now, just a couple of days to the election?
Ultimately, I've said it from my first statement. I said there are no clear-cut ideologies guiding these political parties. They are just nomenclatures. So, if their pecuniary interest is not satisfied within the interest of the party, then they will try as much as possible to align with another party where they feel that their interest will be best served. It doesn't necessarily have to align with the interest of the country, the interest of their people, or the interest of their party. Like it's always said, there's no permanent friend or foe in Nigerian politics. Only what we have is permanent personal interest.
All right, and that also boils down to the conversation I was having with Comrade Tajuddin Abib.
Of course, yes, it's an obvious thing that what we are having in this situation is just people trying to protect their own interest at the expense of the interest of the party. Because if it's all about the party, if the party is supreme, just like we used to say, and we shouldn't have 5 governors who fly their flag under the banner of a particular party, going against that party openly without anybody having anything to do against them, because they knew that the moment they wield the stick, just like he has mentioned, then you are going to have further deepening of those crises, the problems. And that's exactly the reason why most of this party are always careful. Just like he has cited, it is not just in PDP. You have people across borders doing some of these things. But for the PDP, because we are seeing them as a major party, and just like I've said, we need that major political parties to be on the neck of each other so that we can have the dividend of democracy. That's the ultimate thing for us. Right. For some of us who are ordinary masses who doesn't carry any party emblem. So it's very, very, very important that the people at the end of affair of the party looks at this crisis and just like you have said, we are 34 days away from the general election. That is the presidential election. And if you are having a party who should be a major contender in the poll, having some of these crises at this particular period of time, you know there is a problem. All
right, so Comrade Olariwaju, what conversations should they be having before the elections?
This tag of comrade.
Okay, Mr. Olariwaju.
Okay. I'm listening.
All right. So, what conversations should the party be having? As it seems, the crisis is dividing the public. It's dividing the supporters of some of these key dignitaries in the political party. What conversations should they be having before the elections?
Unfortunately, whatever opinion I have will not carry much weight, because one, I'm not a member of any political party.
But they might
as an
listen
observer,
to your advice and just...
They don't. Let's not deceive ourselves. If they do, the country will be better than the way it is as we speak. They don't. You see, what I've discovered with Nigerian politicians and their supporters is that they believe politicians are all-knowing. They equate them with God. That is where you have slangs of Baba Sokwe. You know, this is where the leader is going, and that is where everybody will go. They don't like any dissident voice. But peradventure, if they will listen, first and foremost, the rule of law must be sacrosanct. There must not be selective application of punitive justice. If anybody has flouted any of the violations of the party. Like we said, the party is expected to be supreme because according to the Nigerian constitution, there's no provision for independent candidature. So you must have a vehicle, a political platform that carries you into a political office.
All right.
An elective political office. So if that party is the vehicle through which you get to such offices, then there are the guidelines and the rules governing that party should be binding on you. Unfortunately, we have politicians who, when they get political power, tend to lord it over their party in their own little spaces, be it at the ward level, local government level, state, or federal. So if they would listen, rule of law must be sacrosanct. It must be entrenched.
All right.
They must do as the law says. It must not be selective. And then internal democracy must also be deepened. The result of all of this crisis is a result of lack of internal democracy amongst them, where money bags have hijacked the political process at the party level.
All right.
And these are the effects.
All right, Mr. Olariwaju. We need to go on a short timeout. When we come back, we'll definitely take some contributions from our listeners at home. Don't forget you can join us in the conversation via WhatsApp 091 36556864 or call us up on 091 36556952. Do stay with us. We'll be back.
You're listening to Diamond 88.7 FM, shining supreme.
Shine bright like a diamond. One man knows Nigeria, understands the people, and knows how to get Nigeria back on the road to growth. His capacity to navigate numerous industries towards growth and expansion is tested and trusted. No one needs to show Atiku Abubakar how to move Nigeria forward through challenges and onto greatness. He already has a sure plan, a strategist in entrepreneur and job creator. Atiku Abubakar knows Nigeria, knows our people, and knows the world. Atiku for sure. PDP! Power to the people! Sponsored by the Atiku Okowa Organizing for Action.
You're listening to Diamond 88.7 FM, shining supreme.
Shine bright like a diamond.
All right, welcome back. You're still tuned in and listening to the Diamond Breakfast Show, reaching you from Diamond 88.7 FM Ilorin. I still have my guest in the building, Comrade Tajuddin Abib and Mr. Olariwaju Lawal. And we've been talking about the crisis in the People's Democratic Party, PDP, the questions and the answers that the public, Nigerians generally, deserve to know. 09136556952. That is the number to call. Let us know your thoughts on this issue and what can be done before the general elections. How can the party put their home in order before the elections? 09136556952. Or send us a message via WhatsApp in case you're trying to get through and can't. 09136556864. Just before we go into the second issue for the day. 09136556952. Let me take the second issue. All right, while we're still waiting for hello, good morning. All right, do call us back. I guess the phone line is acting up this morning, but kindly call us back. 09136556952. Hello, good morning. Hello. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. All right, do call us back. The line is not clear. When you try to call back, kindly move away from your radio set and ensure that you're in a very good place with good signal. 09136556952. The second story we're taking a look at this morning is on the fuels crisis in the country. It is a very difficult situation and it is affecting the lives of each and every one of us as Nigerians. It is getting to the second month, and it looks like an insurmountable situation. The Nigerian government on Friday night, all right, let's take this one. Hello? Hello, good morning.
How are you, Bisola?
Very well, thank you. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I am Dr. Kule Adebowale.
All right, Dr. Kule, it's nice to have you on the show. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I just like what you are discussing and your analyst in the studio.
All right.
They got so the problem with Nigerian positions has been well organized. So I just feel we should just manage it. Then we have our election. After the general election, go back to the drawing board. So thank you.
All right. So you're saying we should manage the situation before the general elections and after we go back to the... But wouldn't that have an effect on the coming elections?
Of course, for 4 years. For the next 4 years, the decision will be taken.
All right. Hello?
Hello? Good morning, Dr. Zil from Cherry.
Dr. Zil, good morning. Go ahead, please.
For PDP and their party problem, let them fix it. That's their business. Because if you look at what is going on, they are supposed to be responsible opposition. But they are irresponsible in the way they go by their things. They are the ones that started shenanigans in our politics since 1999. They want to come back with the same shenanigans. Well, we allow them. We know God is not. So one thing is that you see the way they are unorganized. Everybody just selfish, looking for one or the other as they used to pray. If they come to power, there will be more problems, and that is why we should use our head and our brain to know that anybody who has ruled us before and has done us wrong, and those who are saying that there are some bad experiences we don't want to have anymore. So that we do the right thing. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Zil. This one here says, good morning, Diamond FM and the intelligent people in the studio. It's true that Wike was ready to step down, but the reason is that it was very sure it was going to emerge. But the main reason is revolting is after seeing the APC primaries, he realized that everyone who stepped down for Bola Tinubu did before the balloting commenced, including Dimeji Bankole that talked twice. But when Tambuwal did this, it came the second time after balloting had commenced. Okay, and he says article also messed up. He wasn't supposed to set up a committee to give him a vice president. He was supposed to rally support for his preferred running mate like he did in 2019 when he picked Obi. Instead of doing that, he set up a 17-man committee headed by Governor Samuel Otom of Benue State. Atiku himself nominated 3 candidates for the VP slots that the committee should pick from: Governors Nyesom Wike, Udom Emmanuel, and Okowa of Rivers State. He said that the committee came out with a result in which Wike scored 14 and gave the breakdown, but it's a long message. Atiku's fear is understandable. He didn't want a VP that is tough. Remember how he was at loggerheads with his principal, OBJ. Hello? Hello, good morning. Hello? Hello, good morning. All right, the network is not so nice this morning. And I want to conclude the message from Oluwadam Larry Benjamin. He says, but I'm one of the people who believe in karma. Remember, Jonathan begged Atiku, and there's a lot. I think Wike is not right, but Atiku is not innocent. He lacks the moral right to be disgruntled by Wike's camp and their stand. That is a message from Oluwadam Larry Benjamin. Next one here says, good morning, presenter. I think the party started the problem we're facing in this nation. If the home is not in order, so tell me, how would they be able to put Nigeria in good shape? That is if they win the election. God bless Nigeria. That is from JC Obasu from Ofa. Thank you for that message. Let's take one more call, then we go on to the second issue. 091-3655-6952. Don't forget you can also drop comments via our Facebook platform, Facebook at Diamond 887 FM. All right, let's see. Okay, Luadam Milari Benjamin, I read your message already on WhatsApp. Let's move on to the second issue, and that is on the lingering fuel crisis. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timipre Silva, made the disclosure that on Friday night that the federal government has not increased the pump price of petrol across the country. That is even as Nigerians continue to queue for fuel in filling stations amidst reports of increase in the pump price of petroleum products. Earlier on Thursday, reports claimed that the government quietly approved 185 naira as the new petrol pump price per litre. In December, the NNPC claimed that it had more fuel in its reserve to take care of the economy for 2 months, and that was in December, and yet we still experience fuel scarcity for months now. The Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria, MOMAN, attributed the lingering fuel scarcity in the country to high cost of vessels and inadequate trucks to deliver petroleum products from depots to filling stations across the country. The marketers explained that these high logistics and exchange rate costs continue to put pressure on their operations, with ripple effect on the pump price. The marketers said the fuel queues are caused by exceptionally high demand and bottlenecks in the fuel distribution chain. All right, this is a lot to swallow, but what do you think could have been done better? Could more preparedness have erased these disturbing situations that we're currently in? Let me start with you, Comrade Tajuddin.
You see, this conversation is going to be a long conversation, because you need to understand the root cause of some of this problem. But because we do not have so much time in our hand, I think it is on two things. The government insincerity to taking decisions, and then the exploitation of the masses in this instance. Okay, when I say government insincerity, you see, if you're going to lead, just like apologies to the vice presidential candidate of the APC, he said, if you are going to lead, if you want people to like you, if you want to be a nice person, you better go and be selling ice cream. If you're going to be a leader, you're going to be somebody who is tough to take decision, who will, at the expense of the opera from the masses, take the right decision. Just like the former governor of Oyo State rightly said. The late former governor of Oyo State, he said, a good leader takes the people to where they want to go, but a very good leader take the people to where they ought to go. Right. Nigeria is in crisis, and this exploitation will continue to be the situation we'll be facing, except we take the right decision, and that decision doesn't lie with the masses. In this instance, it lies with the leadership. We've been talking about fuel subsidy over time. Okay. Some of this problem does, like I said, I think last week or 2 weeks ago in this studio, up till this moment, you do not have the data of how much of PMS is Nigerian is using. Today, you either have it at 40 million litre per day, or you have it at 70 million litre per day. Right. Giving a room for those people, the marketers, to actually exploit the country, because they understand that the country pays subsidy on the fuel. Okay, they tell the government we are bringing in this so amount of PMS per day. Of course, at the end of the day, they take some of this PMS out of the country and sell at the neighboring countries who are selling at unsubsidized rate. Right. So thereby doubling their profit. So if you're going to stop some of this problem, you are going to take the bull by the horn. Okay, take the decision. What is the right decision? Remove this subsidy. At this particular period of time, you see people selling fuel at 320 naira, even in the lorry here. And in some other places, you see 350. You see. Okay, if you remove subsidy,
in some cases.
Wow. Okay, so if you remove subsidy, how much are you selling? You are not selling more than that. Okay, so why are we still having this situation? At that, you are selling at high rate, and you are still having scarcity. That's because those people who are actually taking this fuel from the depot are taking it to another place entirely, are not circulating it within the country. So that's the first problem. And then you look at the Nigerian masses itself. The moment we have an opportunity to exploit the situation, we take it whole as a whole. We do not look at the adverse effect on the fellow Nigerians. The interest is not there. Okay. Just like the interest is not there for the leadership, the interest is not there for the masses as well. You see people here, they have fuel in their tank, and it's there, they're not selling it. Okay, expecting that once the demand, just like you have said, once the demand continues to rise, it will put pressure on the price. It will rise, and then they will have to double. Yeah, they'll have more profit. So it's a two-way thing. Okay, we have been saying it, we continue to say it. The government needs to take the decision. This decision is difficult for them to take because they are looking at their own political fortune. They are looking at the possibility of Nigerians shouting and saying, we are not going to vote your party because we... But is that the right decision to make? Yes, that is the right decision to take. And then they're supposed to take the decision.
All right, Mr. Lowell, he has mentioned that the government should remove subsidy, but the government already has plans to do that. Do you believe in them removing it suddenly without having something to help cushion the effect on the people?
That is where I would differ a bit from his stance. He has covered pretty much everything. It borders on criminal negligence on the part of government. Before we came into democracy in 1999, this country had 4 refineries.
Okay.
I'm weeping inside as I'm saying this. This country had 4 local refineries. Instead of us to be the petroleum and the petrochemical hub of West Africa, take advantage of it. Seize the market of the entire sub-region and grow our economy. What did we do? We allowed those refineries to decay, to deteriorate, up to the point that the 4 refineries now have 0% productivity. Yet, we have a government. I'm talking about from 1999 till date.
Yes.
We have a government. And those refineries have got staff. They get paid every month. Those who retire, they retire. They draw their gratuity. They draw their pensions. And some are still being employed into those refineries as we speak.
For doing what exactly?
Nothing. So that is why I said it borders on criminal negligence and wickedness. It is absolutely that. Before we come down to the masses. Yes, we have our own exploitative attitude as a people. I've enunciated this point time and time and time again. But the fish starts to rot from the head until we have a bold leadership. I'm a student of economics. I know all over the world, subsidy is always a short-term policy, not a long-term policy, because it is unsustainable. Absolutely unsustainable. Now, there's what we call round tripping. Marketers will go from Lagos, they will round trip to Lome and turn back without PMS and then claim subsidy receipts. These are Nigerians too, in connivance with other criminal elements who are from outside. The Yorubas will say, "To lele ubajani, tita olejani." Nobody can come and pilfer whatever is inside your house without help from the insider. So until the government, like he said, until the government have the political will, why would you say congestion of trucks on the road when we're supposed to have functional rail system that is to move petroleum products all across the country, freeing up space for the road? Subsidy pays only the rich, not the poor.
The masses.
Not the poor. Only the rich.
But the masses do not understand that.
Yes, it is that folly of ignorance that the government is feeding on.
Yep.
That folly of ignorance that the government is feeding on. And that's part of our own problem as a people. The lack of will to research and to take informed decisions. Once we're able to have 1 or 2 meals per day and then, a little comfort, and then we are okay. It should go beyond that. We should take the development of our community, of our state, of our country with more than a passing interest. It should be a life ambition because we don't have any other place to call home. This administration, when they came in, fine, they made the dead refineries. And they promised that they are going to how will I put it? They are going to refurbish, renovate, rehabilitate, and repair 1 refinery a year. Don't forget that ever since these refineries went moribund, in the Nigerian budget, they've been budgeting billions of naira for turnaround maintenance. What are you turning around? What are you maintaining? If it ain't broken, there's no need to fix it. If it is broken, then fix it. If it can't be fixed, throw it away and get another one. There was a time the UK government decommissioned an offshore refinery. They decommissioned it, sold off the parts as scraps because it was no longer serving the economic interest of the United Kingdom. Why can't we do the same? Now, you as a government that cannot repair, refurbish, and rehabilitate any of your refineries have equity stake in a private refinery. I mean, it beggars understanding. I cannot, it turns logic on its head. Because how do you explain this to a sane person? Some of the economic and fiscal decisions that particularly this administration has taken has dragged us back decades.
All right.
And we need to put a stop to it.
All right, Mr. Lawal. Now, talking about putting a stop to it, there seems to be a back and forth between the government and the marketers. The government saying they did not increase the price. The marketers are saying it's the cost of carrying it from one place to the other that is the issue. Now, what would you recommend to be the structure in terms of conversations between the government and the marketers on this issue?
You see, just like we've highlighted from the beginning, it boils down to the government. No decision can be taken in this sector other than what the government, because up till this moment, our deregulation, the deregulation that we've been shouting about, has not been done wholly. Yes, you have PIA in place today, but it has not been done wholly. You still have government agency regulating this sector. Right. So it still boils down to exactly what the government wants to do. But the truth is that there is no quick fix to it. That's the truth. The whole sector seems to be a sector that majority of Nigerians doesn't understand exactly how it works. It is very, very expensive. Okay, having the infrastructure to take away some of these things are not something that you can just get in the market like you're getting a tomato. But the truth is that for a long time projection, the government needs to start their foundation now. Okay, just like he has mentioned, it's unfortunate that some of the decisions that we're supposed to have taken long ago, we didn't take them, and they continue to haunt us, and we are still not taking those decisions. In a situation whereby you have a rail system working, an effective rail system working, it will be easy for you to transport. Okay. But in this situation, you do not have it. So you look for the alternatives. Okay, in the past you have this pipeline structure that you pass to, but Nigerians, okay, criminally minded Nigerians, in connivance with the security operators and even the people in the sector, okay, continues to damage some of these pipelines, and then we could not transport this product through those these channels again. But for a government that is serious, you're supposed to have devise a means by which you will be able to get some, because your responsibility is to make life bearable for the masses. In a situation whereby as a government you couldn't do this, then you are failing in your responsibility. All right. So if that's the case, there is that need for the government and the transporters to sit down and think about exactly which way. You can't imagine somebody going to take fuel in Lagos and taking it to Maiduguri, okay, via the road as well. How many days will it take? You cannot imagine somebody taking fuel from Lagos, taking it to the southeast or south. It's a long distance. So how do we decongest? We have a port in the south. Why are we not using them? Okay, what will it take us? Dredging those ports in the south will have given us a more viable means of cutting that distance and ensuring that the people at that part of the country get exactly the product they want to get at with ease. In the north too. So some of these structure are very, very cumbersome structure, but there is that need for the government to start the move now so that they will be able to curtail some of these problems that we have.
All right, let's see if we can take a couple of contributions via our social media platforms. 09136 556864. That is the WhatsApp number. You can call us on 09136 556952. Let us take your thoughts on this issue before we wrap up for the day. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Oladimeji Idowu from Ilorin.
All right, good to have you on the show. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to chip in something that we should not keep deceiving ourselves about this deregulation. Government is not sincere with Nigerians. Deregulation is not the problem. There is a problem that is yet to be analyzed to Nigerians. Even if they remove the subsidy, how much is the subsidy being paid already? Then how much is it going to be? They have not come out with the blueprint of where they are going. We have a lot of debt. They are just trying to look way around to say, let us remove the subsidy so that they can cover some of the debt that they have exhausted illegally.
Right.
So let them come out to tell Nigerians what is really the problem.
All right.
It's not about removing the subsidy.
Thank you for that contribution. Kolade Ayinde says government should deregulate the fuel business and pay cost of living allowance to Nigerians. 09136556952. That is the number to call. Let's see if we can take a couple more calls before we wrap up for the day. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Kola Alasoke from Ita Ogumbo.
All right, go ahead, please, Kola.
The issue of the subsidy. If you remove the last week I said it. If you remove the subsidy, that's why not the problem. How they letting everybody know must have fear of the gods. That is very, very important. This is about Buhari by 2015. He said it. Because out of all refinery, I do the one or two. How do they take now? I never do anything. Two, see the only private body now in the Lagos State now. Time to say want to finish the refinery. Out of the government. See that government, you have a power board of government. How can you deceiving ourselves? That is the problem we have in this country.
All right.
Let everybody know. Let everybody know the fear of the God. I'm on my own advice. By 2023, anybody in March, let him look for somebody. He have if everybody collect the PPC. After that, anybody is a match. Let the fear of the God. That the person want to work with the person. All matter like our youth, don't forget the name.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for that call. We need to wrap up now, Mr. Olariwaju. Let me take your final thoughts before we go in a few seconds.
My advice to Nigerians is research well, make informed decisions. Nation building is a lifelong ambition. As long as you're a Nigerian, be patriotic to the core.
All right, Comrade Tajuddin Abib.
Just like you have said, 2023 offers us the opportunity to elect the new set of leadership.
Okay.
We need to be responsible. We need to look at the situation and ensure that we elect the right people to the right places.
All right, thank you so much. My guests on the show have been Comrade Tajuddin Habib, a youth advocate and a political analyst, and Mr. Olariwaju, an economic expert who doubles as choir officer for Budget Tracker. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming this morning.
It's a pleasure.
All right, and this is where we call it a wrap on the show for today. But we'll be signing out with the news commentary from our News and Current Affairs Department. My name is Bisola Oduwole. Suleiman, to stay tuned to Diamond 88.7 FM Lorry. Don't touch that dial.
Diamond FM, your one-stop dial.
Today's commentary is on scarcity of the redesigned Naira notes as written by Abdulhafiz Oyewole of our News and Current Affairs Department. On the 15th of December 2022, the newly redesigned 200, 500 and 1,000 Naira notes were launched by the Central Bank of Nigeria. According to the Apex Bank, these launched banknotes are expedient as part of the efforts to fight counterfeiting and the financing of terrorist groups. Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari, during their introduction at the presidential villa, said the new notes would help to control liquidity in an economy where most money is held outside the bank. In the same vein, the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, said the new notes would drive financial inclusion and economic growth. This would be a plausible move if it were to be done earlier before now and some punitive measures had been positioned. However, fast forward to Monday, 23rd of January 2023, the new notes are yet to be in circulation 8 days to the deadline. Many Nigerians lamented how the ATMs had been dispensing the old notes instead of the new ones, as directed by the Apex Bank to the